It's Halloween at the video store. And guess where Mike's at? Dun, dun, dun.
Villisca Ax Murder House.
Oh my God. That's right. It's the Video Store Clerks Halloween special. Join us.
Very well put together, Dave.
It's it's the Halloween special, and tonight our correspondent, if you will, Mike Leasure, is live at the Villisca Murder House in Villisca, Illinois.
Iowa. You're already messing up.
Why did I say Illinois? I'm sorry. We're live
For now.
For now. So you are literally outside the house right now, right?
I am.
All
Standing live in front of the house. You're only looking at me now. Here, I'm going to try to flip this around. So you can get a better view. The setup is for. All right, so there we go.
Is that the date of the murders?
Yes.
Oh, and they put that on there? That was nice.
So, yeah. Is there a way that I can flip my camera around that you know of?
Nothing I know of.
Shit,
I'm
not sure. Might have to walk backwards.
I'm an Apple guy.
Jeez, walk backwards around the fucking Axe Murder House.
Perfect.
It's great, dude.
Welcome.
Well, is there an option on the video screen right there that if you touch it, an option comes up to flip it?
Probably should have figured this out ahead of time.
I was listening to the same thing. Sorry, though. It's live, folks. It's live. Things
We're
happen.
all rookies.
Yeah, we're doing this as we go. So
first time for everything.
Yeah,
that's right.
First on location. This is great. This is awesome.
All right. So are we ready to go into this house?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Mike, do you want to give us a little background on this in case people don't know the little story behind this place?
All right, so June 10th, 1912, was the day that the bodies of 8 people here in Villisca, Iowa, were discovered, brutally murdered. It was the family of Josiah Moore, his wife Sarah, their 4 children, and 2 of the girls that were friends with the daughter that stayed the night at the house. They had all gone to a church service, a late church service on Sunday evening, and then came back to the home to stay the night. Whenever they came home, they went to bed, everything went normal as usual, and then at some point during the night, a person that may or may not have been in the house attacked the whole family using an axe and murdered each one of them, bludgeoned them to death in their beds, one by one, and they all died. And it's one of the biggest tragedies, unsolved murders in Iowa and possibly U.S. history.
Yeah.
So that's the abbreviated version. Obviously, there's other documentaries, YouTube videos covering the house and the history of the house and whatnot. So there's a lot of information out there.
Well, I'm sure as we go through the house, we'll get into all that too.
A deeper dive. What's that?
That's my bad. I was just saying, I'm sure we'll get into all more of that too as we go through the house.
Right.
Yeah. Probably one of the biggest tragedies. I mean, it's a tragic story. I mean, it really is. I mean, Not just the fact that the parents were killed, but the whole family, the kids, young kids, you know. Yeah, but yeah, this
And
is
apparently
great.
this
I
guy
have it
just,
all right now,
yeah, he just sat up in the attic and waited for him.
and that's just a
Allegedly.
rumor too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about this, but
yeah.
the house is real. We're looking at it.
All right.
This is it. This is the door. This is the back door, actually. This is the way you get in. You can go in the front door, I guess. I can give you a little walk around here. I'm trying to do this as easy as possible. I don't got like a crew here with a lighting rig or any stuff like that. So
We basically sent him out by himself.
to die. Thanks a lot, guys. But
All
there's
this happened on the fly.
there's a cellar there.
Which wasn't made until later on. Wasn't put in there until later on.
And from what there's a guy named Johnny who's the caretaker of the house. He said there's never been really any activity in that cellar or anything like that he's really heard of. So, here's the front of the house. Front door. And just trying to get a wider shot here of the house in general. So that is the outside of the house. It's a very small house. If you're here,
Yeah.
you're just like, how does a family of 6 even live in this place?
Everybody's squeezing the rooms together. I mean, the parents' room upstairs is more
Look at
or
this.
less not really a room.
Look what we got here.
That's a little kitty cat.
Hey, kitty.
We got a visitor. Hey, Katie.
Kiki. Ah, Kiki.
Yeah, there's a couple of stray cats that kind
Bam.
of are the local residences of the house now. So that's one of them. I don't know if it has a name or not, but I've seen the other one. It's a gray cat, and they named it Church after the cat and pet cemetery. So
I had a gray cat named Church actually once. Yeah, just gonna throw this out there. I don't know if anybody heard Dave. We have spam. For the first time I've ever seen this on our live chats, but there is a
Nobody click on that. We will never
Nobody
ever
click on
put
this.
any links in the chat.
yeah
Yeah,
screw that Halloween special. There we go. All right.
perfect.
It's Captain Spaulding or Captain Howdy.
Yeah. Oh God.
All right, so want to head inside?
Let's go inside.
All right, perfect.
Oh my God, this is so cool.
I know, dude. I'm over here like this is great. Kind of reminds me of that Tales from the Crypt episode with that guy going through the house and he gets brutally murdered on TV.
Do you have your EKG meter?
We have different little devices that we've been using. It's me and my brother, his fiance, and another girl, Sydney, who are all in the house. So if all of a sudden you see somebody moving around, it's not a spirit or anything like that. It's probably one of them. Or you hear somebody, it's probably one of them. So you'll see them as we're taking the tour through the house. Since I can't flip the camera by myself, I'm just going to turn it around here. So I'm not going to really be looking at the screen. So just give me a heads up on kind of what you are able to see, and hopefully it'll look good from
POV
my
shot.
end.
That's
all right.
so there we go. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So can you hear me as good as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're standing in the kitchen of the Moore house. And as you see, a lot of the stuff is the vintage looking modern stuff from that era. From what Johnny, the caretaker, had told us, a lot of the stuff that was originally here back in 1912 is gone for the most part. But there are some little things that are still from that time period and that may have been in the house at the time the murders took place. So you'll see a lot of vintage stuff, and you'll be like, well, was that there? Most likely not. Like the beds, everything's made to look the way it was back in 1912. And so it's not all original stuff. You're going to be like, oh, that's the actual bed they died on. He was telling us that the beds they died on were actually disposed of like a day or two after the fact.
Yeah,
And
people just came in and grabbed shit.
there was so much blood that the people that were taking out the mattresses, they couldn't get them down the stairs because they were too big. So they threw them out. Can you see the house right here? Oh, wait, is that the house? It's a different house. I don't know why they have that there. But they threw the mattresses out the windows, and there was so much blood on the mattresses that whenever it slid down, the roof had made a big blood smear all the way down the roof to make the whole crime scene and everything a little bit more macabre. You know, everybody would, because there was so many people in the town that gathered here and actually went through the house. The crime scene was not locked down. This was 1912, so you don't have crime scene tape, police tape, or anything like that, to where, you know, oh, we're going to be able to seal this off and make sure nobody touches it. No, the whole town came because it's a small town. And they would say, oh, well, that's the Moore family. We want to know what happened. And they hear about, you know, all of them being brutally murdered. Everybody wants to see, because, you know, nothing like this has ever happened in this community. So people are coming in to see it for themselves, and people are picking up the actual axe that was used. So everything is contaminated at that point. And even though they didn't really have any kind of proper crime scene investigation stuff back then, any fingerprinting was just starting out back then. Those types of things would have been contaminated either way. So this is the kitchen. We set up a ball and a slinky along with the EMF meter to see if we get any readings in here. We haven't had any real readings or anything yet. You see that? The National Register of Historic Places for Iowa. Now this is the living room. And the pictures of the family, I think, are original. I think they did. Well, no, they look like reprints, actually. They're taken from original prints, obviously. But, yeah, that's the family in that photo. We got a piano, just all kinds of different things from back in the day to kind of give it that vibe. There's different letters and notes that people have left. Can you see that in the basket?
Mm-hmm.
All the people that stay the night usually leave some kind of notes or just a brief summary of their experience here, what happened, what didn't happen, you know, just kind of give you a perspective of what they had experienced that night. So you can go through all the letters. They, you know, Johnny pretty much said you can do whatever you want in here as long as you don't damage anything. So you can like go through the letters and see what people had to say and just kind of read about their experiences as well. So it's kind of interesting to see those things. And then people leave money, leave a lot of coins. I saw a lot of people leaving coins. The old theory of if you leave coins for the dead, you know, put them over their eyes, then they can pay the ferrymen on their journey into the afterlife. So a lot of coins that are kind of spread out in the house. No electricity except for this cord that goes out to the barn. And that's where the electricity comes from. It does have heat. They said online that the heat was limited. But he said that he just says that because in the wintertime, when it gets real cold, the heat in here doesn't really do much for it. So he didn't want to false advertise and be like, oh yeah, we got heat. And then people come here and it's, you know, 0 degrees outside, and they're freezing because the heat's not able to keep up in the house. So he just says it's limited, you know, but right now it's kicking. I'm freaking sweating almost. But right now the room we're in is the Stillinger room. It's named that because this was occupied. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. By Ina Stillinger and Lena Stillinger, the two girls that were friends of the daughter, Catherine, that were staying over. This was the room they were in whenever they were killed. And another piece of the puzzle was that when the crime scene was investigated, there was a mirror dresser, just like this kind of. And over the mirror, there was a black skirt that was taken out of the dresser and draped over the mirror, which, you know, a lot of people think that There's different folklore behind mirrors, whether or not souls get trapped in mirrors, whether or not there was theories
Killers want
that
to
they thought,
see.
yeah, the killer didn't want to see what he had done. There's all kinds of different theories and things that go into it. I think this is the window they were talking about that had the sewing machine. There was one of the big questions in my mind for the murder is that there was no obvious sign of entry, no like forced entry or anything like that. There was two windows that they said were unlocked at that time, and one window was blocked by a big sewing machine, similar to this probably, and the other window had cobwebs and everything still over it. So they said that if somebody did try to enter, then the cobwebs wouldn't have been there, and so they determined that those windows hadn't really been tampered with, and they don't think that's how the person got in the house. So it's kind of a mystery of how the person actually got in. That's one of the big questions in my mind, how they were able to get in and just hide out without being seen.
Now, the closet there, isn't that the only place they got a crime, a quote unquote crime scene photo of? Because they didn't take that stuff back then. Wasn't there, like, there's a picture in that closet, I guess, that they actually, that's the only one that's known from the crime scene?
From the stuff I've researched, the crime scene photos are very limited. I know the brother Ross, who had discovered the family, had there was another guy that had came and tried to take pictures of the house. He was trying to he realized that everybody was going through and kind of disturbing the whole scene, so he wanted to kind of preserve what it looked like, and he was taking pictures. And I think the brother, from what I've heard, got offended that he was taking pictures of everything and took the guy's camera and smashed it. So a lot of those crime scene photos were destroyed. And other than that, there's really not any crime scene photos, from what I understand. It's stuff after the fact where they have pictures of people holding the axe, and I think there's a picture of the axe and a light that was found at the edge of the bed. So stuff like that, but no actual photos.
Well, there was
go ahead.
There was a thing that I was watching the other day where dude was showing, and he was talking about, like, there was a picture that from that closet. It was just taken. It was like the only thing that's known to be out that was taken the day of in the house, and everything else, everything else was like the only thing. So,
from what I've heard of the stories and everything online, is there's a lot of activity that comes from this closet here. I know that there was a man back in 2014. He was here with another group of investigators staying the night, and at some point he was in this room. And supposedly in this, I don't know if it's this exact chair, but in this closet, and he had a hunting knife on him for whatever reason, I don't know. But allegedly, his story was that he came in here and he was trying to provoke the spirits. And then eventually, I guess he was in here by himself. And from what I had read, the story goes that he was in here trying to provoke the spirits. And the next thing, the people had heard him calling out for help, and they came in, and he had been stabbed. And obviously they were self-inflicted, but he was airlifted to a hospital. I think it was in either Omaha or another part of Iowa, and had to have surgery and everything like that because he was in critical condition from being stabbed. But whenever he did awake, they said that he had no real recollection of what had happened, and that he had just felt like he was overcome by some kind of force. So that's just part of the mythology. Is it real? Is the guy mentally unstable? Who knows? But that's just another story that kind of adds to the lore of the house.
It's all around fucked up, though, regardless.
Yeah, this is the Stillinger room.
Yeah, Richard says, thank you, Mike, for taking the time to do this. It's damn creepy.
Yeah, no problem, guys. I hope you're liking it. I hope you can see everything well. Like I said.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
We got 7 viewers at the moment.
How many?
7.
Oh, cool. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. I know some of my friends said they want to watch from on Facebook and everything, and I know people are going to be watching later because we are up a little bit late. But I hope you enjoy what we're doing here. We're trying to make it a little interactive and give you an experience that you may not be able to have. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for doing this. This is awesome. This is really badass.
No problem. So that's the downstairs and in all of its entirety. This is like another closet area, I guess, a pantry that they had. Here's the stairs. We have the REM pod. This goes off whenever any motion comes near it. So we have that set up. So if anything did make any movement, we'd be able to see. So now we're going up the steps. Actually, I'm going to come back down the steps. I'm going to try to be quiet, and I'm going to give you an idea of what it's like to go up these steps. Can you still hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to try to be as quiet as possible, and I'll give you an idea of. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not, but there is creaky. These are creaky old steps. So the idea is, if the murderer would have had to come down from the upstairs, if he was allegedly hiding in the attic, in order to go to the other girl's room and kill them. So this is just an idea of what it sounds like going up the steps. Okay.
Your signal's pretty weak, Mike.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's frozen on the steps right now.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of weird this happens as he's going up the steps.
Yeah.
There he is. Okay.
We're back.
All right.
We're back.
Yeah, we're good. I'm sure there's little spots in there. It's going to be difficult, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try that. I'll try this again. All right. So you can see everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
You're good.
Okay. I'm going to be very quiet and see if you can hear the creaky.
Oh, God, yes.
Just that sound
And
makes my skin crawl.
And that's just me trying to tiptoe up the steps, like I'm trying to conceal it as much as possible. And it's just not something that you can really do on these steps with it. The house, all the steps and everything are the exact steps. They've added some kind of rubber stuff over the top of it, but those are the wooden steps that were here originally. And then this is the parents' bedroom, and it's only about 12 feet across. It's not a very big room, and it's right at the top of the steps. So here's a chair, a vintage chair. So do not sit in this rocking chair for looks only, with a creepy doll in it. But yeah, this was the area where the parents' bed was Joe Moore and Sarah Moore. And like I was saying before, the axe murderer, they think he came out of this attic right here, and then he was hiding in there, and he came out at some point in the night and attacked the parents first right here in this area. Also, as part of the room there, like I think Chuck mentioned this last week, there's little indentations in the wall where they believe the axe, whenever he drew back, it hit the wall and carved these little notches into the wall just from him swinging the axe. Can you see that, guys?
Just to go ahead and throw it out there, people. This guy wasn't just like gently swinging. Like, this guy was going with full force for the way that the crime scene apparently was. Considering, especially for the father, from all the research and reports and everything like that, they said the father got the worst of it. He was the one where his face was completely unrecognizable. The killer had taken the axe, and it wasn't the blade edge of the axe; it was the back of the axe, the butt of the axe, if you will, and caved in the face. And he did it multiple times to the father. For whatever reason. I don't know if he considered him more of a threat or if he knew the father and this was a personal thing, but for whatever reason, he did it more so to the father. With the other ones, the children, it seemed from the coroner's reports and everything like that, that it was only like a single blow that ended up killing them. They weren't as badly hit with the axe as the father was. So this is the parents' room. And again, with the covering of the mirror.
Yes. Now, here is the other children's room. And you have these creepy people I'm hanging out with.
I kind of forgot that they were there at first. Threw me off. Yeah.
Sleeping in
That
here.
threw me off too. I was like, oh my God.
But they have the bed set up similar to how the kids were back in 1912. They have all kinds of different little things here. People have left stuff over the years. A broken mirror, just different things that would be interesting to the house.
The way they're laying, it kind of reminds me of Heaven's Gate right now. I'm just going to throw that out there. They're just missing like Nikes.
This is the closet of the kids' room. Like I said, not very much space at all. But yeah, this was the children of Joe and Sarah Moore. This is where they were sleeping whenever they were killed. So not a big space.
And the baby was sleeping there too, wasn't it?
No baby.
How many kids? No baby?
No, it was. They had 4 kids. I think the youngest was 5.
Okay.
So
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, 3 boys and a girl. Can't remember their ages, but I'm pretty sure the youngest was 5, and I think the girl was 10. The other boys were like 7 and 9, I believe, somewhere in there. So
wasn't there something about the that room with the kids, like the killer like pretty much pulled a Leatherface and like swung the axe around because there was blood all over the place that was leaking to the floor.
From what Johnny had said, there was blood all over the place from the reports, and that the roof did have different markings from the axe. It has been covered up since then. Like you can see, it's been painted over and plastered over. So any of those marks that were there originally are no longer there. But from the stories, they did say there was marks. They said they took some wallpaper down, and this mark was still there on the one side of the wall. So that's an odd marking. You know, I don't know how somebody's gonna swing an axe in that direction. I don't know. It's just a weird placement of a axe mark. So, oh look, we got flies now, just like The Exorcist.
Fucking Amityville Horror.
So yeah, that's the kids' room, and then the main one right here is the attic. Bunch of different coins that people have put into the frame, and I don't know if you can see that or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a creepy ass doll.
Annabelle?
And this is a tiny. Oh wait, that's the thing. That's me. Hello. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm not a small person by any means, but trying to get through this freaking door, you know, oh, shut up. All right. But trying to get through this is kind of tough. You know, if I'm trying to creep, especially with a freaking axe, this is a very tough door to get through. So the idea of, I got to do something with this. Hold on. Unless they're trying to communicate with us, and I just pissed them off. But
guess we'll find out.
Yeah, a lot of the theories, everybody likes to sensationalize and say that the murderer was hiding here in the attic, but it just seems less plausible. From everything that was talked about back in the different the testimonies and stuff like that, I think one of the coroners or somebody that was on the crime scene had come in here because I think the sister or somebody had theorized that the killer might have been hiding here in the attic. And they come in here to check it out. I think one of the newspapers reported that there was some crushed cotton items or something in a box in here and cigarette butts. I don't know if that's true or not. From what I had read in my research, they did find the crushed cottons in a box, but they were sitting on top of another cardboard box. So they think that if somebody had stepped on that or sat on that, that it would have crushed the other box. So a lot of theory, a lot of speculation to what was going on. And I think the attic idea probably doesn't hold as much water as most would think. But you know, Who knows?
It's kind of crazy that those windows over there are kind of very similar to Amityville Horror House as well,
Yep.
just smaller.
Yeah.
Yep. It's got those eyeball-looking windows.
hmm
But
I mean,
And it's such a small house. Wouldn't they hear him? Like, even if he adjusted in his seat a little bit, wouldn't you hear him, let alone walking around up there?
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest questions is how did they not hear him? I mean, not only by walking around in this place can you hear somebody, but the fact that they are swinging an axe and hitting the roof or hitting the walls with the axe and hitting other people with the axe. Like if I'm in bed with a woman and somebody comes up and they attack me with an axe, I find it hard to believe that the woman isn't going to awake at least for a moment and see that somebody's there and scream or something of that nature. In order to do that fast, I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but to do it with such accuracy and force to where it's quiet enough where you're not going to get caught or hurt by anybody else is kind of amazing to me that nobody heard anything. So I don't know. I theorize that they had some kind of sedative at some point. I've been working on a theory, which I told Johnny about earlier, and he had heard a couple other people bring this up, but it's not very well theorized that the brother Ross was involved in the murders. To me, it seems like if somebody did commit the crime, it was somebody they knew because then they had access to the home. Ross was a druggist. He had a drugstore here in town. So it's quite possible that he had access to some kind of sedative or drugs that he could put in their food or put in their drink that night in order for them, when they go to sleep, then they're conked out and they don't hear anything. So, I mean, these are just theories that I've been coming up with because I'm trying to piece together just certain things. Like I said, how did they get in the house? How did they go about the business without being heard? Those sort of things that don't make sense to me. So,
yeah.
Who knows? But
so it's not a bad theory. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, there's also something else, if I remember correctly, that one of the theories is where he didn't stay actually in the attic, that he was hiding somewhere else downstairs or came in through the door or came in somehow and actually killed the kids downstairs first.
Right.
And then went up and got the parents, which, I mean, depending how, I mean, the blade obviously was pretty sharp, but I mean, if they're really hard sleepers, I mean, I don't know, especially with kids. It takes them to wake up. It really, there's a lot of weird shit that's been said about this house. I mean, even down to people trying to say, getting it connected to H.H. Holmes, when the whole theory of him being Jack the Ripper, and it's somewhere or when he came back from Europe, that he made his way through Iowa and was, traveling killer because there were other murders along the way after the fact in other states, other places that would have been on that kind of path. I don't know. And then there was what was the thing about the guy, the mayor or something, like the guy he was running for mayor, and he was the same guy that had a fake body of John Wilkes Booth and was dry. It was the guy that was paying people, or people were paying him to see the body, and he was bragging or something about, he kept making jokes to people about killing people in Villisca.
I have never heard any kind of story about the mayor. I know one of the prime suspects in the crime was a guy named F.F. Jones, who was a local man. He was House of Representatives for Iowa. He became a state senator
That's what I'm
shortly
thinking
after. And he was one of the people that they considered to be one of the prime suspects because him and Joe Moore were actually business partners. Joe Moore worked for him for about a decade, I think, until Joe kind of went off and started his own business, which was similar to Jones's business. So a lot of people theorized that Jones and Moore had this kind of rivalry, and there was bad blood between them. And there was also rumors that Joe Moore had been having an affair with a relative of Jones. So some people think that he had hired some people to come in and commit the murders. that seemed like the biggest the suspect at the time until Ed Kelly, a reverend that was actually tried and acquitted for the murders, came into the picture because if you read up on him, it's a whole big ordeal where he was fascinated with the murders. They say that allegedly he had talked to people about the murders before they were publicized.
Okay, yeah.
Different things like that. He was known as a peeping Tom, and he had like sexually not really assaulted, but he would do things to his secretaries where he'd try to make them type things up for him in the nude and stuff like that. He was just kind of a pervert. They
Definitely
said
a preacher, though.
Yes, he was a preacher, and
I mean,
he had
clearly.
actually confessed. He had confessed to the murders at some point as well, and it was just if you read up on him, he's just a creepy guy that was a sexual deviant. He had a lot of issues, a lot of mental health issues. So, I mean, he might have just been a nut job that was just kind of fascinated with the murders. He was definitely in town when the murders happened because he had done a church sermon the night before, and then he had left early the same morning the bodies were discovered. So he was definitely a suspect. And a lot of people, I think even Johnny, the caretaker here, was saying that to him, Kelly was the one that made the most sense because of just certain things that he was able to check off on his checklist of things that he would consider somebody to be the prime suspect would do. So,
Yeah, watch your head there, Mike.
Yeah, there's nails all through the wall.
Oh my God!
So, something else I'm talking about the preacher. An idea that just kind of popped in my head was the fact of what if for whatever reason they invited him in after the sermon or something, and he gave them some kind of like communion, and it was like it goes back to the pharmaceutical thing, and that's why that would make sense too.
Sure. So
there's
a lot of people.
There's so many things. It's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people think it was Kelly. A lot of people think it was Jones. There was other people that were suspected. There was a book that was written where they believe that Robert Mueller, who was an alleged traveling serial killer, he would jump on trains and go from city to city and commit crimes, murders, and whatnot. They think that he might have been involved in some way. Like I said, it's all speculation. It's all theory. Nobody has really any concrete facts. Just very fascinating stuff to kind of review and research and try to figure out who done it. And yeah. So
it's fascinating, man.
This is the spot. This is the attic. This is where, if you watch all the ghost hunter shows and stuff like that, they say this is the most haunted or the most activity that they get whenever they're doing their shows is in this room. So if you can you see that doll pretty good?
Yeah, that thing's crazy looking.
It's creepy.
I want it.
Johnny was telling us this was a doll that he had come across one day. While he was driving down the road, he had saw this doll on the side of the road, and he thought it was a person, so he stopped. And then he saw that it was a doll, so he kept it. And what he's been doing over the years, because he's an investigator as well, and what he that's pretty creepy. I got a flashing light on my thing here. So what he ended up doing was he goes around to the different places too, like the Sally House and all these different paranormal places, and he collects little things like rock or whatever from that location. And apparently, I haven't really looked at this doll, but he said he opened up the back of the doll and he's been putting like little pieces of all these places into the doll to kind of give it a little bit more supernatural aura to it.
Energy from all those places in one. There's a great idea.
Yeah. So he said he was like, I'm going to take all these little pieces of these places and put it in this doll and kind of give this doll a
I found church.
Oh, shit!
We thought we had a live thing going on.
That children's book over there. It said bits and pieces.
No, that's terrible. But okay, so yeah, back quick. Okay, so the doll, he pretty much wants to give it its own little history to where it becomes part of the lore, of all these places and everything like that. He said ideally he would collect all these rocks and pieces from all these places, put it into the doll, and make his own kind of Annabelle doll that hopefully Zach Baggins would buy off him at some point and he could retire. So that's his story behind the doll. It's just, it wasn't here before or anything like that. It's just something he added to kind of give it a more supernatural feel and a creepy feel to the room. So I thought we had some. I thought we had the motion detector.
That'd have been so cool. Yeah. Was that your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
That was my brother, Matt.
Thanks for scaring the living shit out of us and getting us all excited. We appreciate it.
And then, of course, there's little bells hanging up in different places. Oh my gosh, it's so tough to get through this door. If I was trying to climb through that door with an axe, I'd probably fall on my ass. So
it also makes you wonder how tall the person was and if it was,
that was another thing that was questionable as well, because the Reverend Kelly, who was one of the suspects I was talking about, he was only 5'2". So a lot of people argued that if he was standing in this room at 5'2", that him swinging an axe wouldn't have been able to reach back that far and put those marks into the wall like that. So a lot of people said, well, he was just too short to do it. I mean, it makes sense.
I wonder how tall the brother was.
I don't know. I would love to find some more information out about the brother. We went to the library and a couple other places here in town today, and we went to the cemetery and everything like that. But there's a lot known about the brother. I did ask Johnny. I think I did. I don't know if I mentioned this, but whenever Joe died, the house and everything, I think, went to the brother. So there's your motive, if that was the case, or it could have been a couple of different things. But
usually when brothers are jealous of their other brothers, they usually just take out the brother, not their entire goddamn family. So
right,
and usually they go after their wife or something,
Can't leave no witness.
And that's another argument for everything. I mean, it's like they said the Jones guy, who was a very political guy and everything like this. It seems to me like he just had too much to lose. If he really had this grudge against Joe Moore and wanted to kill him, if anything, he would just hire a couple guys to rough him up in an alleyway and shoot him and make it look like a mugging, something along that line. Like, why are you going to go to the trouble to murder his whole family? That just seems a little bit much for somebody. And Jones was well respected in the community. He did a lot for the community. He even assisted in trying to help find the killer after these events, because he was close to Moore. And despite them having a falling out or whatever, it seemed that he was generally interested in trying to solve the crime. So a lot of people just don't think it's Jones because of those reasons. And that's why I crossed Jones off my list, because it just doesn't hold up. If the person who did this, they killed 8 people and 6 of them are children. So there's got to be some kind of mental health issue there. It's not just a hit. It's not just whatever. It's somebody that's sick in the head who wants to kill somebody. And, if anything, I mean, maybe the brother, I'm trying to come up with just different scenarios. If the brother did want to kill Joe Moore for money or for whatever, and he was here the night before, he almost would have to kill everybody else that was in the house because they would be able to ID him the next day. In his mind, it's like, oh, well, I don't want to kill the kids, but if I don't, they're going to be like, oh, Uncle Joe or Uncle Ross was here, and the police would go after him as one of the prime suspects. So, who knows for sure? But these are just kind of things that pop into my head.
Well, I mean,
whenever I'm thinking about it,
everything that all the little things, down to the height of the person. But I mean, like, with the mirrors being covered, and of course, there's a lot of different ideas with that. What exactly why they did it. But like that's kind of like almost a ritual kind of thing, into a certain degree. And the fact that just how how everything went down. Like again, the aggression towards the father, you know, and how it was the most brutal out of all. Although again, for any spirits or anything that can hear me, huge tragedy, and it's terrible. But yeah, the dad got it worse than all of them. I don't know. It's almost, it's kind of creepy because it also kind of goes back to that whole like little rumor thing about the guy stabbing himself. You know, guys sitting in the closet just trying to piss ghosts off, and all of a sudden he just starts stabbing himself and can't remember doing it. I mean, there's something kind of weird there. There's all kind. That's what I'm saying. Such a small house, such a huge tragedy, and so many insane theories surrounding it. I mean, you know, it just really is crazy because it really, at those time periods, it really could have been anything.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
Should we start to talk to some ghosts?
We can. That's because that's the tour of the house. That's all the house. There's no basement. Like I said, there's a cellar that goes down underneath. It's very small down in there. It's just for storage, basically. So, and like I said, there has never been really any activity, from what Johnny has said. Like I said, the ghost hunters and stuff like that. This seems to be the spot. This attic. Oh my God. Ugh. It really is difficult. I'm not exaggerating. Trying to come through that door, I've got to turn my whole body sideways and crouch down because it's only about 4.5, maybe 5 feet tall from the floor to the top of this, and it's only about maybe 18 inches wide.
Yeah.
Not very big at all.
I don't buy the attic thing at all.
I don't
yeah,
either,
it seems kind of weird.
But this is the spot. This is the hot spot, as they say. So we got balls in here. We got the doll. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do. How many? We got any people in the chat today? Right now?
All right. So what we're gonna do, you folks that are joining us live, join us live in the chat. What do you want Mike to ask the spirits? Let us know right now, because we're gonna start trying to contact something and see what happens with this creepy doll.
Did anybody see I just about burned my finger off with a fucking torch just now? I was trying to light it like a normal cigarette, and I was like, whoa. I'm an idiot. Okay.
Well, Richard says every time that motion sensor goes off, he wants a 7-Eleven Slurpee.
It's funny. That's why I kept laughing earlier, because I kept thinking the same thing. I want to go to 40s and 9s and get a Slurpee.
Well, let's start and ask if anything is even there.
Well, I can't see the chat, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is just sit here and be quiet. They can hear. You know, I've got the volume up to where you're audible in this room. So if you want to ask questions personally, or if there's anybody in the chat that wants to interact and ask questions as well, you can go ahead and read them off, because I'm not going to be able to see them holding up the camera. I'm just going to be basically the cameraman and just sit here quietly and hold the camera up and see if we can get anything.
I can't tell if that ball just moved or it was just the lighting.
Nothing has moved, in my opinion.
As excited as I am, that's not the verdict here. Sorry.
Right.
Well, let's start and ask if there's any spirits in the room with you. I don't want to ask anything. Somebody else ask. Are there any spirits in the room? All right.
Move something if there is something in there. If you are in there. I don't know how to word this. It's weird doing it not in person.
Yeah. I've never done this in person before. I've only ever watched videos.
I've done it and been places before, just not through a video chat. Ghost hunting virtual.
No.
I'm waiting for Busta Rhymes to come out. Dangertainment.
Is the only motion sensor that one by the steps?
Like the ones I showed you, yeah, there was one down by the bottom of the steps, and then the one up here by the attic door that we had set up. I don't know if they're moving that stuff around downstairs now and doing something else, but yeah, the only motion sensor that's up here right now is right outside the door here.
Are you allowed to sit in those chairs?
Well, the ones above.
The one's broken.
I wouldn't want to. I was gonna say I wouldn't sit in those.
Yeah, all these are very antique chairs and bedding and everything like that. So, I've sat in a couple, and they feel like they're about to break. I'm not a small guy by any means, so I don't want to ruin anything. But I can whatever, give me some ideas and I'll go with it.
I'd be kind of curious about doing something in the room with the two
I could have
kids.
brought a Ouija board.
Oh, fuck no, dude! I'm not fucking with those. Not even virtual. I've had too many bad experiences with that shit. No.
There's something weird about this. There's something weird about this ball. I feel like it wants to move. Like every time I glance away, I don't know if it's just the light reflecting or something off it because it's like a kind of a fluorescent ball. But every time I kind of glance away, it seems like it kind of moves a little bit, and I'll keep
That's what I
wanting
was
to go
saying a
back
minute
to
ago
it.
too. Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on here. If there are any spirits that exist in this house and they want to communicate with us right now, go ahead and give us a sign if you can. Possibly move one of these balls, or there's a cat toy here that could possibly light up. If you could give us any kind of signal or a sign that you want to communicate with us at this time, please do so.
Play with our balls.
Chad, behave yourself.
Well,
Spirits don't want to play today.
I think recess is
they
over.
don't. And like I said, we got here a little bit earlier, and we've been, doing a little things here and there, and trying to get some kind of communication, possibly if spirits exist in this house. And we haven't had anything really happen yet, as of yet. Actually, there was one thing that happened. Whenever she set up the first motion sensor, she sat it on the chair in that room, the chair we were talking about earlier, where the guy stabbed himself. She sat the motion sensor there and then walked out. And she was in the living room. We were all in the living room, and it went off like maybe 20 seconds after she had sat it there. So clearly nobody was there, and it went off for whatever reason. So that's about the closest we've had to any kind of experience. They got out a spirit box, and they were running that and trying to see if they could pick up any voices or anything like that, asking some questions. And nothing came of that as of yet. So I mean, maybe it's too early in the evening. I hear a lot of the stories come later at night, like around the time that the murders were committed, where they believe it was sometime around maybe 12:30, 12:45 in the AM when the murders took place. So maybe something later on. Also, there was notes from people that had stayed here previous saying they experienced stuff around 3:30 in the morning, which is commonly known as the witching hour. So I don't know if that has any correlation, if that's just all story or what. But as far as my experience goes, nothing has happened yet. I would love for something to happen because I'm a skeptic at heart. I'm like Fox Mulder. I want to believe, but I've never experienced anything that would make me truly believe in the paranormal or the spiritual world. So I travel these places: the Lizzie Borden House, the Stanley Hotel, the Winchester House, and now the Villisca Ax Murder House, hoping to experience something. And nothing has happened as of yet. But I understand that even if those things don't exist, a real crime did take place here. Real people were killed. It was a tragedy not only for a family but for a community. And for that, I come here and with respect and try to honor their memory as best as possible, tell their story, and just shed some more light on what happened. Hopefully, I know it's been 110 years, and there's probably nothing new that's going to come about any of this, but if there were, if there was some kind of spiritual attachment and we were able to communicate and get answers, that would be amazing. Otherwise, it's just a kind of a celebration of the life they had before these tragic events occurred.
I swear it does look like that ball keeps like slightly moving.
think it's just
It might just be the light, but I swear he's fucking with me. Are you able to go to the other room? Maybe do something in there.
I think it's weird. There's just two random shoes sitting there.
Yep. All I know is that ball rolled towards me whenever we were doing that. I'm fucking running out and probably cracking my head off. Fucking board.
Oh yeah, we don't.
Yourself.
All of a sudden the ball
There you go.
moves.
There's another board beat.
Slightly reminds me of the Hellraiser attic.
They might be doing some stuff down here.
I mean, the bedroom upstairs are still doing stuff up there.
No, they're down here. All right, so
Okay.
they're using an EVP or a spirit box in this room. So I'm going to turn off the light and just kind of let you guys listen. They're using a spirit box. I don't want to interrupt too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you kind of a listen in. They're in the Stillinger room right now, so we're going to go in there and kind of listen to what's going on.
Sweet.
Can you join us and sit in the chair, please?
How many spirits are in this house?
Where are the children hiding?
Everywhere.
That was pretty clear. Children are hiding everywhere.
Are there bits and pieces of the children everywhere?
What? No.
Was Uncle Ross here the night of the murder?
Was Uncle Ross here?
Did Ross Moore hurt you?
Why won't the children come through and talk to us? Are you okay? Are you scared? Can you come join us and set off our devices? So we know that someone's joining us? Yes. Thank you. Can you follow the green light to the chair? If you sit in the chair, the light will go off. Can you find your way there?
Who are we communicating with?
Can you tell us your name?
Oh my God. I'll just say like mumble.
My name is Mike. Can you say my name, Mike, back to me, please? So yeah. That you guys still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they're doing a little bit of work there in the Stillinger room, trying to communicate through the spirit box. Here's some notes that people have left. I don't know if you can see it or not. It says October 14th, 2022. Spent one night here, and after reading the others' letters, I thought we may not experience activity. We were wrong. We found activity in the living room, kitchen, and the blue room upstairs. Our first moment was a voice recording caught on our phones. We were playing with 2 light-up toys we brought, trying to get them to play back, but it wasn't until we played with a blue deflated ball that we had heard someone, a child, say, "That's ours." This was in the living room. That happened about 10:30 p.m. The next 2 encounters happened as we tried to get some sleep. The one that got us all tripped up was a toy we heard go off upstairs. We heard a distant song playing in the background, very faint, through the vent. We could see lights going off, blue, green, red, again faintly. It wasn't until the next morning, as we investigated, that we found that the toy sitting on the bed. The toy was sitting on the bed? No one was upstairs. We were sleeping in the living room downstairs. So, and that happened at 3:30-ish a.m., according to their note or whatever. So that was just somebody else's experience. You know, there's a stack of letters of what people have seen or heard or felt whenever they were here before.
Got a huge jolt in my leg a second ago.
I guess we'll go back in here because you've seen all this. So we'll go back in here and see if we can hear anything on this spirit box.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me where you were hiding? Earlier you said in the attic. Was that true? I'm a Moor? Yeah, I see her. Which Moor are you? Are you one of the boys? Which Moor are you? Can you tell us?
None?
None. Well, then who are you? How old are you? Where are you hiding?
What is your name? Are you trapped here?
You told us you were a Moor. Are you? Is the rest of your family here? Just the Grandpa.
Do you want to leave this house?
I want to do an Estes session.
It would be hard if we were just here status, so.
Yeah.
There's the kitty. There's Church. Hey, kitty. He's napping.
I think we're getting something though. Like we look for gets.
So yeah, there was a little bit of audible stuff that stopped there when we were asking questions. One did sound like One did sound like a more. One did sound like none. But yeah,
Everywhere.
I mean, very interesting stuff. I mean, it's just a device that reads radio frequencies and stuff like that. So who knows? You could pick up anything. I mean, next thing I know, we could be asking questions and Prince is coming over the damn thing, singing.
Well, if that happens, then.
One minute you're asking ghost questions, and then you got Prince singing Raspberry Beret. So,
I mean, I'm fine with either way.
That would be amazing if we can communicate with Prince tonight. It definitely would get us a lot of. Oh Jesus! Oh, it's just my dad. So
the thing is, though, is most of the time in places like that, you end up getting more responses when you're actually like taking a break or something.
Yeah, whenever it's when you're not focused on filming something or taking pictures.
Yeah.
Here's the kitty. This is Church that I was telling you guys about earlier. The pet cemetery kitty likes to come in here and nap on the girl's bed.
He's just chilling.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's some kind of connection or something that the cat knows that we don't, or feels that we don't. But from the videos I've seen online, it gravitates towards this bed. I don't know if it's just a warm spot, a comfy spot, or what. Because there's a couch out there, there's chairs out there that it could go lay in as well. For some reason, it comes in here. It seems like the most. Okay, so we're in the Stillinger room. I still got you guys?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I just heard them go upstairs. So this is the first time that I've been in this room when somebody went up the stairs. So I know you might not have picked up on it, but whenever I heard one of them go up the stairs, it is super squeaky, especially right here.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my brother's going to walk up the steps right now. See if you can hear it.
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really loud.
So, yeah. So, especially if it's a big guy, trying to sneak up these steps isn't really going to be a thing.
Even if you were barefoot, you would hear it.
You are in your bare feet. He's in his bare feet.
Yeah,
So it's not like he's wearing clodhoppers or anything like that would make these stairs squeak especially loud.
So actually, if you go up there's like a little light you can literally see almost down through.
So I don't know. I find it difficult that somebody did not hear this man. I mean, it's possible that these girls heard the steps and just thought it was another family member.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily think, hey, whenever I wake up in the middle of the night and I heard a noise, that especially if you live in a house with 6 people, you don't think, oh, there's an axe murderer here coming to kill us all. That's not your first impression. So I guess it is possible that somebody heard him and then just kind of shrugged it off as, oh, somebody's going to the bathroom, somebody's doing something else, and just didn't pay it any mind. But I think when you get to the part where he's swinging the axe, he's hitting the wall, other noises that wouldn't be, just somebody walking around or going to the bathroom, that it becomes more questionable.
Well,
Off the mirror now? Yeah, it is.
What's that?
So the cloth was off of the mirror now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
did they do that?
Did you guys take the cloth off?
Yeah.
Okay, they took the cloth
You
off.
should have said no.
Hey, what's funny, real quick? Your brother's wearing the same Halloween 2 shirt that I am, except his is purple.
Whoa.
Oh, wait, his
Not
is
planned.
Halloween 1. Never mind. His is Halloween. Mine's Halloween 2. Hell yeah.
Not planned.
Makes sense, though.
I would hope.
Well, here's
Weird.
another thing. Here's another thing we can try. They got a big Bible here in the living room. I have a UV light that I got, and we can shine it around and see if we get any kind of residue of anything.
Yeah, I've seen Bibles laying around a couple times, I think.
Can you guys see this UV light
Yeah.
pretty well? So we're in the wall. This is the walls of the girls' room. Now, from my understanding, that when UV light is on blood, it turns black, as opposed to like if you're watching CSI and you see the guy shining the light on the blood and it's glowing. That's because they're using luminol to bring out the fluorescent lighting of the blood.
Yeah.
So if you didn't spray luminol on a wall or a surface that had blood, you wouldn't necessarily see it bright. You would see it as dark black. So there's specks on the wall here that are dark black. Whether or not they're actually blood, probably not. 110 years, you would think that they cleaned the damn place, but who knows? I mean, because there's like I don't know if you can see this or not. It looks like it looks like blood streaks down the damn wall. Can you see that?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Try not to break this bed.
Oh yeah, now I can.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm also watching on my TV too, so I can see it better up there too.
So who knows? You know, there's Johnny said that he's had at least 700 people come through and do investigations here. So who knows? You know, people could stage stuff. People could put stuff on the walls. They could manipulate the whole setting however they wanted to, I'm sure. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Look at this. It's neat. All right, so Chuck, we are in the Stillinger room right now. Is there anything you said you want to come back down here? Is there anything specific you were looking for?
No, actually, I was talking about the room upstairs originally, but
where the kids died?
Yeah, well, the other ones did. Yeah, I was just kind of curious about their. You see, I've seen different videos and stuff of people going there and up there in that room. Sometimes things end up happening or something of that nature, you know.
All right, she's going to do an Estes session, so I'm just going to go in here real quick.
Again, this is awesome, man. This is super fucking cool.
All right, so yeah, she's going to do an Estes session in the attic, guys. If you could be quiet, we'll see what we can experience here. Slurpee. You want the light off?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, the light off. Matt, can you hear me asking me questions? Matt. My name's Sydney, and this is my friend Matt. I'm going to be asking you questions, and you can answer through Matt here. Can you tell us your name? This is really helping him zone in to be able to hear you better. I know you said the children were hiding. If you're hiding, we're here for you. Can we help you in any way?
I don't think so.
Who are you? Can you join us and have a seat at the red light, please? Does the doll have a name?
It's like a movie.
Annabelle?
Calm down.
Temperature drop. He said he wanted the doll to be like Annabelle, and he just said like the movie. Mm-hmm. Are you sitting in the chair?
I'm still here.
Are you sitting in the chair beside Matt?
All the people. Enemies.
Can you tell us your name?
Are you trapped here?
You don't want to be alone.
Are you alone?
Okay then.
Should I leave the room?
I just heard like a girl's voice say don't. It was like a young girl's voice say don't.
Oh, could be alone. Okay. Don't what? Are you trying to protect us?
I'd really appreciate it.
If what?
I would.
Who are we communicating with? It doesn't sound like one of the Moors. Are you someone else? Was that you setting off the REM pod in the chair? Can you set off this ball?
I'm here again.
You see this ball lighting up?
What are you doing? Speak up.
I am. Can you light up this ball now? If you're really in here. We are speaking up. Your turn.
Do you want to leave this place?
Soon. Just leave.
You want to?
What are you doing?
We're trying to communicate with you. Is that okay?
We want to help.
But first tell us who you are. Can you set off this ball in front of me?
Only if you stop.
Stop what?
Because
What would you like us to stop? Is that you? If that's you, step away. In 3, 2, 1.
beside, the morning comes
Thank you for stepping away and talking to us.
after everyone's gone.
I have a question. Are we speaking with the person who committed these crimes? Did you hurt the Moore family?
Shout to the heavens.
Do you know Ross Moore?
I am.
Ross, are you here with us, part of the family?
Did you hurt your family, Ross?
He said something about future. What's your future?
Are we communicating with Ross?
Look around.
I can't see you. Show yourself.
Why did you do this to your family, Ross?
Give me that device.
Which one?
If you're really here, can you set off the ball in front of me and make it light up?
We want to help you.
I don't care.
Why not?
Because it's all over.
It's not all over. You're still here.
Are you trapped?
Says who?
Says you. You are still here communicating with us. So it's not over. Even if your life has ended, you still exist here in this world.
You haven't
It
left.
was just like a movie.
You haven't left the place of the murders.
Explain that.
Why? You explain it to us. Why do you stay here?
Ghosts.
Do you even know what a movie is? Movies are something that happened. Go ahead.
Are you sure you've even heard about me? Oh, it's not something like cold over here.
No.
Are you sitting next to our friend Matt? He could feel you. Could you do that again? Give him a cool breeze?
It was all in the media.
It was.
Yes, it was. You're right. Does that make you feel
I just
good?
heard like a piano playing, a couple keys.
Does it being in the media make you feel good? Is that what you wanted? They were children, Ross.
Again, I'm going to ask, is this Ross Moore we're talking to?
The morning and the night. I've been watching
What did you see?
them.
Who is them? The Moors? Or the people that come to talk to you and ghost hunt?
I appreciate you calling.
We appreciate you talking to us.
Can you tell us your name?
Me.
Is this still Ross? We're under the impression that we're communicating with Ross Moore. Is that correct? Can you see this light in front of me?
I'm starting to get angry
Why?
Why?
because
We're not doing anything wrong.
We're just asking you questions. Is that okay? Where are the children? I'm calling out to speak to the children that said they were hiding. Is there something that we
I
can...
knew you'd bring that up. Always.
Are the children still here?
Everyone.
Everyone's still here.
Everyone always wants to talk about the children, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to talk about you? Tell us how you feel.
Preacher.
You're a preacher.
You were there.
No.
You were at the Sunday sermon. Were you a preacher in your life?
Why are we...
Let's move on.
Do you consider yourself a man of God?
Beside him.
You're beside me, or you're beside Matt? Do you like to talk about God?
Well, hello.
Well, hello.
Are we still communicating with the same person?
Hello to you too.
Or is this someone new? There's
How does it feel whenever I say the word God?
Tell us your
I'm
name.
really getting mad.
Why are you getting mad?
What are you mad about? We're here all night. Is that okay?
We're not trying to make you mad. We're trying to communicate with you, spend some time with you.
Figure out why things happen the way they did.
Because you're changing me.
What am I changing you into?
Look around.
I do look around. I've seen this house. Is this your place for eternity? Are you trapped? Or you choose to be here? Are you afraid to pass on?
It's your turn.
Not yet. One day, I will pass on.
Do you know what year it is?
Cody.
Cody?
Who's Cody? Did you used to live in this house?
Are you afraid to leave this house? Do you like this house? I don't know. That's why I ask. Do you like this house? Do you choose to stay here? Or are you afraid to move on into the next realm? I don't pass judgment. It's not for me. If there is an afterlife, then there's a God that will pass judgment upon you, not me. So you can communicate to me and tell me anything you want. Your desires, your angers, your weakness, your strengths. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to talk to you.
I'm not doing this.
You don't want to talk.
Why?
If you don't want to talk to me, I'll leave. Is that what you want?
Go on.
Go on leave or go on talking?
Where were you? Oh, I love your business.
Do you want me to go on talking?
Stay right there. I'm downloading.
You're downloading? You have an iPod? Do you have a computer?
Fast.
You have a fast computer?
What are you downloading?
Is it Kanye West video?
Tell Katie to turn around. It just started like another more piano music.
Are you a fan of Kanye West?
Are we making you angry?
Mm-hmm.
You are a fan of Kanye West. That's interesting. Because obviously this person didn't exist in your time. But now, I mean, I'm sure you have some kind of understanding of the world that currently surrounds you.
Any chance you have $1? That was weird.
Do I have some dollars, but you don't need them.
It's a bucket of dollars next to it. Why do you
I'm
want
inside.
inside
Here.
of what? Why do you want Katie to turn around? You're not scaring us. I hope you do know that. We came here to communicate with you and
Do you like this?
I do.
What I'm doing?
Sure.
Do you like what you're doing? Sorry.
We like communicating with you. Do you like communicating with us?
I'm still fascinated you're a Kanye West fan. Have you heard the recent news?
I'm behind you.
Yeah.
If you're
Why are you hiding? Why are you behind me?
ring the bell.
What'd you say?
And them.
And them?
Ring the bell if you're here.
All of us.
Well, come over here in front of us. Why are you behind us? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, if you're actually impressed, prove it.
Just come over here and hang out. Why are you
Sit in the
behind?
chair, light up the ball, ring the bell.
We're here as friends.
I'm really pissed.
Why? We're not doing anything wrong. Don't be pissed. There's no reason to be pissed. Why are you going to be pissed off in the afterlife? Why don't you enjoy yourself? If you're a spirit of the children or the family, you might be trapped here and you might be pissed about what happened. I understand that.
Are you one of the Moors besides Ross? Someone other than Ross?
Here.
We know.
Who is here exactly?
Right.
Wrong.
Who is here with us?
God.
Can you tell me if you're one of the victims?
Who's downstairs?
Nobody.
We're all
Why would you ask that?
Which one? Do you like playing the piano?
so I know who I'm communicating with. If it's one of the Moors, I might be a little nicer.
They didn't like it.
I'm sure they didn't. It was very tragic what happened to them. They didn't deserve it.
And I left.
You did leave.
And you came back? Why? We feel terrible about what happened in this house. And we don't want the Moors to have to relive it over and over endlessly. We just want to keep them some company.
I just heard like heavy breathing, like somebody's got done running
Were you running away from here, trying to escape?
down the street.
Yeah. Were people chasing you? Did anybody see you?
After it happened in 1912, you ran down the street.
Do you remember the Titanic?
Why?
Why? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Who told you?
About the Titanic? It's in the news. It's history. Did you move that? Okay.
Can you set off one of our devices here? Do you see this light? Can you set it off and roll it like I did?
We had our meeting.
Who'd you meet with?
One meeting.
Was there a payment at this meeting? Were you hired to do a job?
You might be able to bring that out.
I don't feel like they're all.
Why would they be here? Why would you come back to here? You're trying to tell me you never did this before or after?
I just feel like all the
If you're a serial killer, if you're Robert Mueller, why wouldn't you go to a different crime scene? Why wouldn't you do something different? Why would you come here? You didn't die here.
I didn't have to.
Okay. You didn't have to go anywhere. You chose here. But why here? Did you have other victims?
Can you see me?
No. I can hear the device going off. Is that you saying hello?
Still isn't enough for you.
I don't know what you want.
Huh.
Something funny? I hear the dogs barking outside.
How many people are in the room? Can you see us?
Just because.
Do you really know who Kanye West is? Are you making some kind of joke?
I wouldn't say that exactly.
Oh man, why won't you leave then? Why isn't there some place else you'd rather be than here for 110 years or however long you've stayed here?
Look at her.
Look at you. I hope the Moors left this house and found their peace.
It's. I don't know if I heard it clear. It sounded like I hacked her to death.
Well, yeah, you did.
We know you did. And she still found her peace, hopefully.
How did they not hear you?
I think it drives you wild that they left. You thrive on that night, so you stay.
And another one.
Yeah, how many?
I go back.
How many victims do you have?
To them.
Do you travel out of this house to other places? Can you see things that we don't?
That's why I was there.
What night was it? If you actually did it, what was the night in 1912 that the murders happened?
Couldn't stop.
If you can actually hear me, what was the day the murders happened?
You said, preacher, are you a man of God? Yes or no?
He demanded it.
Who, God?
God wanted you to do it?
No.
Or the man hired you?
Do you
I
feel
just heard a
sorry?
little girl's voice. So
No.
I say, like, stop. Like, please stop.
Please don't let her be here.
If somebody hired you to do this, why would you do this to the whole family? Are you trying to, wasn't there revenge on Joe?
Forgotten country.
Forgotten country. Was this a business deal? Forgotten country or forgotten country?
This town.
This town deserved better?
Why the bacon? Good cut. I just assumed.
You'd be amazed.
Do you like Teddy Roosevelt?
What people said.
People said a lot of things.
Did you know the Moore family? Yes or no?
Hopefully.
How many spirits are in this house? Is it just you?
Did you vote for Theodore Roosevelt?
What's the doll's name next to that? Did you hear that?
Train whistle just got off. Do you ride trains often?
Did you hear that?
All right. I'm done with this.
All right. You want to take a break? Are you done?
You can take a break. Let's talk to someone else. If there's anyone else in the house, first, thank you for communicating with us. You can have your break.
Her. You.
What about me?
Your time.
You got this
If you
all.
want to talk.
I'm here. Who am I communicating with now? I do want to talk. I thought you were done. Is this someone else?
Then I'll leave.
I'm watching.
Slurpee. Bye. All right. So you guys still there?
Yeah. Mike, we got a question. Jonathan was wondering what the ghost was talking through. Can you explain a little bit about what we just what we experienced there?
Sure. Sorry I didn't go into detail about it beforehand, but they got into it real quick, and but they call it an Estes session. It's where one person has a spirit box device, basically into a headphone system, and they wear the headphones, and they're kind of like noise canceling headphones where you can't hear the other people in the room asking questions or anything like that. So it's not like I'm asking my brother these questions and he's just randomly answering. He's listening into those channels that are being skimmed through, and the different words or phrases or noises that are coming out from it. And so as you have the headphones on, you have a better grasp of what is trying to be communicated per se. And so yeah, that's basically how that works. Is they put the headphones on, another person asks a series of questions, hoping to get a response from the person that's wearing the headphones. And that's what we were doing. We were asking a number of different questions. You know, you even heard me ask silly stuff like about Kanye West, just to see what we would hear. And yeah, there's a lot of interesting answers. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like I said, it's a device that scans radio frequencies, so we could be picking up anything. We could be picking up a radio channel 150 miles away that that person just said a word at that moment, and it makes sense to what we're doing.
Yeah.
A couple things that were interesting. I know whenever I mentioned God a couple times, the one meter went off. I think that's a meter that was measuring the temperature. So if there was a drop in temperature, that's what that beep would signify, more so than the motion. I know the ball that would light up was the one they were using for motion, and it didn't light up except whenever the girl Sydney was touching it. So anytime you saw it light up in the feed, that wasn't being moved or anything like that. That was her touching it, trying to get a spirit or something to interact with it. But there were definitely answers, interesting answers to questions. Who knows? I mean,
It is a tough one. It is a tough one. I mean, that's one thing I've always wrestled with when it comes down to doing those kind of things, just because you don't, like you said, you don't know. It's radio frequencies, but it is kind of interesting how sometimes the shit lines up pretty nicely. You know.
I mean,
But yeah, there's some things you're like, well, what the fuck? Why would you want $1? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He wants to go buy the new Kanye album. He doesn't realize it's that expensive, you know?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? If there were really spirits that were trapped in this world, then maybe they do see and hear things that go on in the world that they pick up. You know, if there's a group of people staying here overnight and they're playing Kanye West songs, then maybe the spirit said, "Hey, I like this shit." You know?
Yeah, what's cracking up? Yeah. I was trying to not mess on the laughing. The one that's kind of interesting though. Shit. I had a good question. Chad threw me off. I'll think of it in a second. Yeah, thanks a lot, Chad. No.
About the brother, about the God stuff, the preacher.
That was kind of interesting.
Deal and all this.
Yeah. The thing is when it was. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. When the answer back was talking about when everyone's gone, and then talking about give me that device and all that. I'm sitting there thinking it's talking about us,
right?
Like because it's just that's what I took from that. I thought it was kind of interesting. When it started when the God talk was starting to come through, like that right there makes me think crazy preacher. So.
Well, that's what I was kind of trying to initiate. If this was some kind of a spirit of the preacher or something like that, then obviously he had some kind of, it wasn't like he was always crazy or anything. He had some kind of love or interest in God and religion at some point. So you would think that that kind of person would want to talk about that in some shape,
Yeah.
So it was just kind of me throwing out different things, just kind of get reactions from whatever was there, if there was something there. I know the one girl, Sydney, she focuses more on questions like, who's here? Are you are you the family? Are you the children? Are you the killer? Basic questions that a lot of these ghost hunters and everybody already ask a million times over. And I just kind of wanted to ask different questions and see what kind of responses we got. If there was some kind of spirit, I want to engage it in a different manner than everybody else does, because, imagine having the same conversation over and over again for 110 years or whatever it is. So,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, interesting stuff. Obviously my brother's not a nut job. Everything that he was hearing and repeating was stuff that I could hear loud enough through the headphones. I could hear him. So it wasn't just like he was making shit up. It's not like he's just sitting there with headphones on and making shit up as you go. Want me to go back to this mirror?
Yeah, let's go stare in the mirror for a minute. I don't know. Just stare right there for a second. I've never. What?
I was gonna say, what were they actually using to talk through that box? What box was that?
That's a spirit box.
Yeah, they was just going through headphones, basically.
Oh, okay.
That way, questions asked, and then they don't know.
Jonathan Baynock was asking.
Yeah, well, he answered it a minute ago.
What up, Baynock?
And then Michael Skidmore wanted you to ask if it was the Reverend or Mueller, but it was I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I did mention Mueller because whenever we heard the train, you can hear the train very well from this house.
I can hear it.
Yeah, we heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nearby. And the working theory behind one of the books that are out there is that Robert Mueller, a traveling serial killer, might have been one of the suspects that actually committed the crime. So, I mentioned that name to see if I got any response, and it didn't really say anything. The only thing we really did get responses on, it seemed like, was, like he said, we heard preacher. And every time, or not every time, but the first couple times that I mentioned the word God, that little detector thing that was detecting the drop in temperature went off. So that was interesting. So
yeah, I mean, this has been really cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Here's this. This is probably not the same piano, but they have this piano in here, and I know they were talking about the piano upstairs.
You play the Halloween theme song.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to play
Take
any.
requests.
I know I don't know how to play anything on a piano.
You can just do what
Maybe-
Bateman did in Ghostbusters. They hate that. Yeah.
Ray,
It's Dr. Bateman.
it's looking at me, Ray.
Eh,
Or maybe I wonder if they saw Big with Tom Hanks.
yeah, right.
I don't even know how to do chopsticks. That's how terrible I am. I know nothing about piano. I would love to learn how to play piano, but I know nothing at this point. So I'm not gonna.
I would love to. One thing I'd love to do is like go to that place and I don't know, record like an acoustic album or some shit.
Sure, and see what kind of audio background stuff you pick up that you don't necessarily hear whenever you're recording.
Yeah, what's actually kind of funny is those the EVP like stuff, like the shit where you hear it on the radio or whatever. In my band, we use a lot of different pedals and stuff that has different. It gets some weird sounds, and we have songs on there that on some of our releases that there's no vocals on, and going back and listening to it, like you very clearly can hear like people screaming and stuff like through all these different channels. I found that stuff just fascinating. It's crazy.
Well, that's like the old stories they had of Trent Reznor buying the old Sharon Tate house,
Right?
and turning that into a studio for a while before the sister got offended and they had a big ordeal there. So
well, they tore down the Sharon Tate house.
They did,
and that was after Trent Reznor recorded Downward Spiral and all that shit. And Manson recorded Portrait of American Family there.
Yep. So very interesting stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. I know. What time is it? It's already running on 12 o'clock here, so it's probably 1 o'clock there.
Almost 2 hours. This has been a very special episode. I love this.
It's a very special Halloween episode. I know you guys didn't even get to go over your favorite Halloween films.
Oh, that's okay.
Or your haunted
house films. Yeah,
that's right.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well, I'll get my. I was thinking about it, and my quick rundown would be probably Poltergeist, Amityville, and of course, The Shining. The Shining is my favorite horror film of all time. So
that was
I know
it's exactly.
Was it
different? Order,
I mean, I know it's a hotel setting, but The Shining, Jack Nicholson, one of the classics. You just can't do it like that anymore. And that's one of my favorites. Poltergeist, Amityville. You're not going to be able to really replicate films like that nowadays. So
I have the Amityville house tattooed on me right here. It's actually when I go to the hospital, that's where they draw blood from. Usually, is the house. So.
Right. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Just get it from the house. That's what I always say.
So I know I appreciate everybody sticking around and then sitting with us in the dark and listen to either what you think is spirits or bullshit. Either way, interesting stuff. I always try to keep an open mind about these things, and I know I've been going on and on here for a while, so probably about time I'll jump off here. And of course, we're going to keep doing some tests and do some investigation stuff, some more Estes sessions, and mess around with the spirit box and stuff like that. And I'll record stuff, and it'll be up and available on YouTube and everything later on for people to check out once it's all edited and put together and everything. Hopefully, we have some more stuff to share. And
yeah, man. I was gonna say you should definitely come back on for a quick update from anything in the next week or two. Kind of feel anything else went on.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, man.
So That is the Villisca Ax Murder House in its entirety. I appreciate everybody tuning in and sharing their time with us this evening. I know it's gone a little bit longer. I know Church the cat here is tired, like a lot of people, and I know a lot of people are going to be watching this next day. So I just want to say personally to any of my friends or anybody that came by to check this out, thank you. I think it's very cool that you come and share this with us. And I just do this for fun, and if I am able to experience anything amazing or supernatural, that just adds to it. And I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to come to these sorts of places. So if I can share it with them and give them a little taste of my experience, then it's a good thing in my mind. So.
Well, we definitely appreciate it, man. I mean, this has been super cool. I mean, like I'm glad that we were able to kind of sit in on some different sessions, doing some things and whatnot. This has been super cool, man. And actually, we didn't have any real big issues. So this has been successful in my opinion.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, that was
Very cool.
So there's a few minutes left. I guess I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. You can disconnect me, and you guys can finish up with your top threes, probably real quick or whatever you want to do. It's your show. So I guess this is me signing off. Hopefully not permanently.
All right.
Have a good night, Mike.
Thank you again, Mike.
All right, be good.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Peace.
And Michael Skidmore, he is Facebook friends with me, and he listens to a lot of the same music as I do, and he has a couple of podcasts, one or two podcasts where that has to do with horror movies and whatnot. Yeah, man, thanks for checking it out. Shit, this has been a really badass.
Good Halloween show.
Yeah, this was a fun night. I'm glad this turned out the way it did.
Holy fuck! This has been. I mean, if there's one place that there's a bunch of places like this that I haven't got a chance to go to. I mean, I've been to Waverly Hills, in Louisville, and I've gone to different places that are haunted, whatever the fuck. I've had some weird experiences at different places that aren't really known, but like I've certain places like this, like I never get a chance to go to them. So this was like, fucking hey, this is cool. This was awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited now because I was talking to Mike the other day about going up to Silent Hill and doing like a live show from there.
Yeah, I think we're going to do this more often. I think that's the plan.
So that'll probably be like April-ish.
Because this episode was kind of by the seat of our pants. We really didn't know for sure. We had a couple backup plans, but we weren't real sure how it was going to go. But I think it went off pretty good, actually. So I think we're going to do this more often.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Yeah, this has been great. Before we get off here, because we're running on about 2 hours almost. Do we want to give our quick rundown of our top threes?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's just go around the room real quick, and then we'll give our top three, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
In my I had the same movies as Mike, but mine was in a different order. My number, should we go 3 to 1? I guess we'll go 3 to 1. Poltergeist, number 2, The Shining, number 1, The Amityville Horror, 1979, 78.
Oh yeah.
Mine was going to be 1408, The Shining, and House.
Oh goddamn! All right, so I love all those. We had top fives, because I've got a shit ton of things over here. But I would have to go
10 deep for real. Whenever I was going through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I was like, man. Yeah, 1408, man. That's it's a haunted fucking room, or an evil fucking room. I love that fucking movie. Mine would have to be. I'd probably have to go with House, which I have all 4 of them on VHS. Me and Dax actually watched this earlier. Fucking classic. It's a good one. This is not the original, not the one on my list, but I have the VHS of this one. House on Haunted Hill, the original, not this one. Vincent Price, fucking killer. And of course, what I think is the epitome of haunted house flicks is Amityville Horror. I mean, you can't. I mean, I've got it tattooed on me. It has to be number 1. You know what I mean? I mean, Amityville. I think Yeah.
Because technically, that one and Poltergeist would be on my top 5.
Poltergeist. Yeah, that was something real quick because I've got the house movies I was talking about. I've got all of those, and I'm talking about the Amityville ones. I've got even some of the shitty ones on VHS. So the Patty Duke one, it's right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love going through all my shit when we do this stuff. So I'm like, But yeah, this has been fun. This has been seriously like probably one of the funnest podcasts that I've done in a while. This is cool.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for everyone tuning in.
Yes, thank you again. Join us every week. We are here every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to sign off real quick. This was a great Halloween episode. This was a classic. Check us out again next week.
Stay tuned on the sites to see what we're doing next week. We don't have an idea yet.
We don't know yet, so we'll find out. So thank you again for joining us. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and our YouTube channel at Night to Dawn Productions. And give Chuck a follow as well with his band Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat. You can find him on Facebook, Spotify, pretty much everywhere. So
YouTube,
make sure you check him out. Great stuff. Thank you again for joining us. Happy Halloween, everybody.